everyone, I'm Amanda with Northern Yards and Gardens. Right now I'm working out in the island that's next to our driveway as you come into the yard. So when we first moved into this house 2 years ago, we brought over 60 perennials with us from our old house, and we had to get them in the ground quick because we didn't want anything to happen to them. So pretty much any of my full sun perennials I put into this island, and any of my shade perennials I put on the north side of the house. Now 2 years later, it's pretty obvious that I didn't have much of a plan when I did all of my planting, and my plants aren't looking so good together. Specifically, I have this goldenrod right here next to me, and it has taken over this space that I gave it. It is much too large and it's starting to crowd out some of the other plants. In fact, right underneath here, I actually have a spruce. Here's a nice little dwarf spruce planted in here, and you can't even tell because this goldenrod has gone nuts. It's even covering up my annuals pot here, and I have some other baptisia and other fun perennials back here that's covering too. So I do love goldenrod. It's about to bloom here in the next couple of weeks, and it's awesome for pollinators. Butterflies and bees just love this plant, but it can't stay here. So I'm going to move it out by the barn where it has more space to grow, and in the future it won't crowd out some of my other smaller perennials. Because this plant is so large, there's no way that it would survive or at least thrive if I transplant it just as it is. There's just too much plant material on top. Some of these stems are probably almost 6 feet tall. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut this back significantly to reduce the amount of leaf material that needs to be watered once we have it moved. And since this is such a big plant, I'm just going to grab my hedge trimmers and go after this. Alright, we're just climbing in here, taking these stems way back. Alright, I'm just going to pull out all these stems and see where we're at. Alright, I think that's done it. Now I'm left with this really ugly stump here that we're going to dig out. After some rather intense digging, I finally got through this root ball. I was not gentle at all. I was not trying to be nice and save a lot of roots or anything. I was just trying to get this thing out of the ground. So this is what I am left with. I can't even hardly pick it up, honestly. It's so big. This huge clump of goldenrod. And you can see it is ugly and thick stems and nothing too nice, but it's going to be fine in the long run. So we're going to get moved over to the barn now. I'm just finishing digging the hole over here. I'm on the southwest corner of our barn. I think this will be a really nice spot for this goldenrod because it's such a large plant. It's going to create like a nice backdrop for anything that I decide to plant in front of it in the future. Also, it's large enough that I'll be able to see it from most places in the yard, so I'm not really condemning it to some back spot where I'll never see it again. So I'm just trying to dig this hole a little bit larger than the root ball that I have. And actually it was so large when we pulled it out, we decided to split it in half, and I'm going to put half of it over on the opposite corner of the barn so that that matches. And then I'll have goldenrod on both corners. And the way we divided it is we just took the same shovel that I've been using and we just slammed it right through the center of the root ball, cutting all those roots in half. Again, you don't have to be gentle, it's going to be just fine. Alright, let's see if this fits. Yeah, I think that'll work. Get some dirt back in around it. just dug right into the lawn. But it's not nice grass, so it's okay. Just a little bit. You don't need to jump up and down on it and really make it stiff, but to make sure that the root gets fully covered by the soil and that there's no big air pockets in there. So I'm just kind of using my hands to push down here a little bit, getting the soil into all the little spaces down in there. Okay, I think we're going to call that good. Last step is to get some water on this. So now I'm just going to give it a good long drink of water. The hose actually doesn't even reach this far to the barn, so I had to haul it over here with a 5-gallon bucket. And I've already put about 5 gallons on, so I'm just adding a couple more gallons, making sure all of the soil here is really well soaked. Transplanting in July on a hot afternoon is really not the best case for a perennial, but it's when I had time and I wanted to get this moved. So I'm just going to make up for that fact by making sure it has plenty of water throughout the next couple of weeks as it reestablishes. Also, this is such a hardy, tough perennial. I'm just not that concerned. It probably do a little bit to struggle, and then it won't be quite as large next year. Alright, that's all I'm going to do for this one here. I know it looks horrible right now. It's already wilting. The stems are all cut back. This is not a pretty plant right now. So I'm just going to have to walk away for the next couple of weeks, and I'll give you some updates here in the future about what it's looking like. I expect once the roots reestablish, it'll start shooting new growth from right there at the base of the plant, and even by this fall I might get a few blooms on this plant still too. So here's the gaping space left over after my goldenrod was removed and put over by the barn. Now you can actually see that I have an aster and a baptisia and even an Indian warrior big blue stem grass back here, and then my nice little dwarf Norway spruce shrub growing in the front. That leaves me with a good 4 feet or more growing space right here. So I'm just going to find some fun, sun-loving, flowering perennials to put in. And I'll have to give you some updates on what I put in there because I'm not even sure yet. It just opens my garden right up. If you have any questions about transplanting perennials, like I mentioned earlier, this really is not the ideal time of year to be transplanting, but you absolutely can right now. Make sure you leave a comment if you have any questions about that, or if you have any questions about goldenrod. It's a great plant. Pollinators love it, so if you want one in your garden, I highly do recommend it. Just make sure you have enough space for it. So let me know if you have any questions. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Our website is northernyardsandgardens.com, and make sure you click the subscribe button so you can see more videos like this. Thanks everyone.